Welcome back to the Rantin Review Pro Wrestling, guys. I'm Rassslin Rantin. We're going to be talking about some news items today. Some stuff involving Ric Flair, CM Punk, GCW, and so on and so forth. But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys, this being YouTube, you can help out the YouTube algorithm by hitting that like button down in the description box below. And while you're there, you might as well hit the notification bell and the subscribe button, because that allows YouTube to tell other wrestling fans like you that I have a video like this, and they may find my channel interesting in this video. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you guys very much, and let's get on into the news. We have to start off today, unfortunately, with the news of the passing of Markus at the age of 33. He was a GCW star. I've only seen like a handful of his matches, but from what I've read, a lot of people seem to think the guy was a pretty decent guy. He was turning his life around. It seems to be a very similar story, and unfortunately, some of the damage that was done has affected him a little bit too much. He did have a brain injury some time back, and but from all accounts, everybody says he was getting his life better. He was improving himself, becoming healthier, and unfortunately, things just caught up with him. So our condolences to his family, everybody at GCW, and all the fans that have enjoyed his work over the years. And slightly less depressing news. There is some news on the Ric Flair front, as Ric Flair is still yet to officially become AEW confirmed or anything, despite the fact that a lot of Four Horsemen are there. But Flair did say recently he saw a lot of himself in a recent AEW star, and that star, of course, you could probably guess it, is Maxwell Jacob Friedman, otherwise known as MJF. And the comparisons are quite obvious there. MJF, I did say, him being the leader of the Pinnacle, being his own, being his own faction, his own little. I mean, the Pinnacle is a very horseman-like faction, and run by MJF. It does have some of that in there. Of course, Tully Blanchard is associated with the crew as well. But Flair has said that even though there are some comparisons to, MJF says he's bigger than Piper in Portland, Flair thinks that MJF is a little bit more like himself. Flair is quoted as saying, "I'm not taking away from Roddy. Roddy didn't brag about his clothes and stuff like that. This kid, what makes him different is he's talking about the material things, and he implies that he has the material things that other people don't have, and that really pisses people off, especially when it's true. And you know it. He's good enough to be in either company. I'm not suggesting he goes anywhere. I would stay with Tony as long as Tony was paying me, and I'm sure Tony sees a lot in him, or he wouldn't be in the position he's in. The thing about him is he's only going to get better, and hopefully he stays injury-free." Flair also went on to say that he sees that MJF will be a top guy in either company, WWE or AEW, or obviously anywhere he would go. MJF is probably the hottest commodity and probably will remain the hottest commodities. You never know what will happen in 2022. Someone else could rise up and take that spot. But right now, the hottest property in wrestling is MJF. CM Punk apparently thinks that another big MMA star, probably one of the biggest ones in all of history, will be making a pro wrestling debut probably sooner than later. For MMA fans like myself, the Conor McGregor era of the UFC was a sight to behold. I mean, the guy brought very wrestling kind of stuff into the mixed martial arts world, and just his crap talking, obviously all the fights that he had, the feud he had with Floyd Mayweather as a promotional stunt, the unfortunate, almost a little bit too real life rivalry he had with some of his other contemporaries in the UFC. Conor is a wild one, and Conor McGregor seems to be completely slated for a WWE or AEW run. Which company it's going to be, nobody knows. You would probably think that would be more of a WWE thing, because WWE is the bigger brand. They are the established 40-year brand name as opposed to the 3 years that AEW has. But Tony Khan, you never know. He's been able to pull in Mike Tyson and Shaq and a couple other people. We saw Junior Dos Santos, Jorge Masvidal, America Top Team. I mean, that could be a thing. I mean, I could totally see Dan Lambert saying, how crazy would that be if Dan Lambert were bringing in Conor McGregor? I don't think that would happen, though. I don't know how they feel about each other, but if he was bringing Conor McGregor into AEW. On the flip side, what if in WWE, you got some guy talking a lot of smack like The Miz, or like a Kevin Owens, or if Sami Zayn or somebody, and then Conor McGregor comes out there. I think you want to match Conor McGregor up with a good talker, though. WWE, honestly speaking, doesn't have a lot of off-the-cuff talkers, not as much as AEW, because I think about WWE, it would be kind of like Conor, who would he go up against in WWE? The Miz would come to mind. Maybe somebody like Edge, maybe somebody like Seth Rollins, maybe Kevin Owens. Those are guys that could probably hang in a promo battle with Conor McGregor. I don't think Roman could or some of those other guys could. In AEW, it's all wide open. I mean, Conor McGregor and MJF, I would pay money to see that. Conor McGregor and CM Punk, I'd pay money to see that. Conor McGregor and Kenny Omega might even be kind of interesting. So there's a number of places that, Conor in either company would be great. It's just how much is he going to charge and who's going to be paying that money, and how soon is it to Conor McGregor officially, because he's unretired himself again. But when does Conor McGregor officially retire from mixed martial arts? Does he make the transition to pro wrestling? CM Punk seems to think that's going to be the case. I think we might find out in the next couple of years, and I think it's definitely a reality that we could see headlining a WrestleMania or an AEW show. Who knows? But that's my news break for today. Thank you guys for checking out the channel. Of course, I got some free goodies down in the description box for you below as well. If you want to get some free stocks, you can go and jump onto the Weeble train. Get 2 free stocks that could be worth anywhere up to $2,300. What do you think about Ric Flair saying he sees a lot of himself in MJF? And what are and again, leave your condolences for the passing of Mark down in the description box below. Until then, I will see you guys on here for more news, rumors, and commentary here on the Rant and Review Pro Wrestling. Have a good day.